Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh.
So, Colleen Ballinger is back. And I would like to say that I am somewhat surprised, but I'm not. And the reason that I'm not surprised is because she is playing by the exact same playbook as James Charles. And in today's video, I want to take a quick look into how she has utilized the exact same formula that James Charles has utilized in order to avoid public scrutiny and to redirect the narrative. Today's video isn't going to be like my usual videos where I have a script and things to say and bullet points. I'm just going to be going from the heart because I truly believe that what is taking place on social media right now as it pertains to Colleen Ballinger is honestly disgusting and shows a flagrant hypocrisy and a flagrant disregard for the rules of YouTube from YouTube themselves. Now, if you aren't aware, Colleen Ballinger returned to social media a few days ago with a video titled Fall Vlog. After her horrendous quote-unquote apology video it is that she made using her ukulele to sing a song of sixpence and a pocket full of rye as to why we should not believe that she is a groomer and just simply a loser. Despite extensive research and documentaries being done by content creators like Swoop and myself, as well as many others, despite the numerous allegations that came out, the multiple individuals who came forward to speak on their experience with Colleen Ballinger, as well as possibly one of the most heinous claims altogether, being that Colleen Ballinger sent pornography to minors, and that there were numerous different minors who remember such incidences taking place. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Colleen Ballinger story, might I suggest watching any of Swoop's videos pertaining to the situation as well as my own. I will leave them at the top of the screen for you guys to take a look at. That will give you kind of the background as to what it is that I'm discussing today, so I definitely suggest you watch those videos before continuing with this. But back to the story. After the allegations became as big as they did, making its way to mainstream media coverage and articles of the topic, we weren't expecting to see Colleen Ballinger so soon. But Colleen Ballinger returned with her full vlog in which we, the audience, were expecting to hear her side, her version of events, and maybe an apology. A true apology for those it is that she affected. She has been accused of leveraging her celebrity in order to make minors do things on her behalf. For instance, some alleged victims who were minors have stated that Colleen Ballinger used to make them go on social media, websites, and gossip forums in order to scout for information and narratives that have been made about her in regards to her marriage falling apart. A lot of people have also stated that Colleen Ballinger used to trauma dump on them frequently, telling them information about how badly it was that she was treated in her marriage and allowing these people to essentially degrade and harass her ex-partner. Joshua David Evans himself has accused her of cheating on him and details his story in detail with Swoop. Sending underwear to a minor, of which she addressed several years later in a video in which she did apologize. So finally, and possibly most egregious of all, she has been accused of sending Trisha Paytas's OnlyFans content to children. And there are numerous damning receipts that lead me to believe that that may potentially be the truth. Now, what always struck me when this information became public about the alleged nudity being sent to minors was that Adam McIntyre never announced that earlier on. When he made his video in regards to Colleen Ballinger in 2020, the main grievance and gripe was that he was sent underwear from Colleen Ballinger, despite her being an adult and him at the time being a minor. And everybody questioned Adam McIntyre's integrity because he didn't seem to bring up the most important part until recently, which was that he alleged that Colleen Ballinger would send nudity of Trisha Paytas to him and various other individuals within their group chats. And to me, that always made me think to myself, how incredibly young, naive, and adolescent in the brain one must have to be to put the idea of being sent underwear, which is still pretty bad, above the redistribution of pornography to children. Honestly, if that doesn't show how minors may not have the same cognitive ability as adults, therefore should be protected at all costs, I don't know what should. Now, apologies if I seem extremely solemn today. This situation really, really affects me in a huge way. So this right now is my call out to YouTube to do something about the protection of minors on their platform and how their platform is being utilized to navigate the potential harm of their young subscriber bases. So without further ado, let's take a look at Colleen Ballinger's comeback video and I will come back with my thoughts.
Hello everybody. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I've really missed this. I've missed talking to everyone every single day. Obviously, the last video that I posted on here, it's really embarrassing, to say the least. I was being accused of some pretty awful things and I just was mad, and I should have handled that situation with maturity and empathy, but instead I just let my ego take over, and I'm really disappointed in myself. So here's what I want to say today. Over the last 15 years of my career, there have been moments where I was immature and inappropriate with some of my comedy, and there were times when I did not put enough thought into some of my fan interactions, and because of that behavior, people got hurt, and I am so sorry. I never wanted to hurt anybody, but it's clear that I did, and I feel so terrible about that.
Okay, so from the outset, the first thing it is that I noticed is that Colleen Ballinger apologizes for the situation. She apologizes for her absence, and she apologizes for the way it is that she conducted her apology. Great. What about the people genuinely affected by you? Saying a blanket, I apologize to those who were hurt, for me is not good enough, especially considering the intense amount of public hate it is that Adam McIntyre has experienced at the hands of Colleen Ballinger's fandom for simply saying that this is not okay. A minor came forward on a public platform and told the world that what happened to me was inappropriate. A level of innocence was stolen from him, and what took place was not okay. When we look at Colleen Ballinger's response to that in her video responding to the allegations made by Adam McIntyre, her response was to shift the narrative, place the blame back onto the minor, which is exactly what it is that she did a second time as she sat down with the ukulele and said, I'm a groomer, I'm not a groomer, I'm a loser. I truly don't believe that Colleen Ballinger understands the immense amount of emotional effect that this can take on a young person. I don't think she acknowledges or realizes what it would be like for her as a parent. And this is the part, this is why I'm trying to speak slowly and clearly, because it really, really upsets me. But fuck it, Colleen, you're a mother of 3 children, 3 beautiful children. If an adult was having a conversation with your children, that would be very inappropriate. To take that one step further, if that adult had a conversation with the minor, sent them underwear, and then sent them pornography, that is very, very, very inappropriate. It's beyond inappropriate. It is borderline criminal. How dare you stand up on your platform and tell everybody, I'm sorry that you were hurt. It is more than hurt that you're doing to these people. This is therapy. This is emotional damage. This is a loss of innocence. This is the stolen innocence of minors. Introducing them to your life, having conversations with them, talking about the toys it is that you're using, telling them to put tampons inside themselves. That's what you did to children. How dare you come back and say, I'm sorry you were hurt. After that horrendous ukulele apology, where you described yourself as a 30-year-old aunt who wants to be cool with the kids, but they weren't cool. That's not what took place there. The reason that we're even talking about this is because somebody was brave enough to speak. If you amplified that by the numerous amount of minors who were terrified to speak, even when Adam McIntyre came forward with his story, and it still took them an additional 3 years to come to terms with the trauma that took place to them, you're a monster. A monster. But I digress.
I also feel like there's probably people who are disappointed or feel abandoned by me because of my silence over the last few months. And I'm so sorry about that as well. I needed to take time to make sure I was listening and learning as much as possible. And I also needed to get the help that I needed to be okay. I'm a mom first and foremost before anything else. And I needed to take care of my kids. So that's where I've been. And but I'm back and I'm here now. And I am not a perfect person. And there are plenty of things in my past that I wish I could go back and redo and fix and change. I don't have control over any of that, and I don't have control over the things people say about me. I only have control over my actions moving forward. And so I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I create a positive, kind, inclusive, safe space online with my content. And if you want to be a part of my journey online, I would love to have you. And if not, I completely understand. I do not expect anyone to welcome me back with open arms. I don't expect to change anyone's mind with this video. I just wanted to come on here and say that I'm sorry. And I wanted to try to show people that it's possible for someone to grow and learn and be better after making mistakes many, many years ago. So that's what I'm going to do.
I'm sorry. You've been away looking after your kids. That's what you're supposed to do, bare minimum. You're a mum, right? But the part that's really getting me, this is what gets me, is the fact that you're saying, well, you know, I need to look after them, which is exactly why you returned. Let's not sugarcoat this like you've done some soul searching, some growth, some therapy, some learning. Because if you did all of those things, you would know that a therapist would have told you that you need to come forward to your platform and take accountability. But that's probably not what the PR firm's telling you, right? The PR firm is probably telling you not to take any guilt. Do not admit any guilt or any fault in the situation, so you won't. How do you fucking sleep at night, Colleen? And having the absolute gall and the gumption to say that, oh, you know, I've made mistakes in my life. Girl, I've made mistakes in my life. Yeah, I sure have. I've made mistakes in my life. I've hurt other people's feelings. I've said some things that are incredibly ignorant. I've hurt people in the past. Do you know what I didn't do? I didn't send minors nudity. Never sent to kids. Not once. Not ever.
I'm going to try to vlog again, and today I'm just gonna film my day and share some simple happy moments and, you know, start the process of starting over. And I know it's going to be awkward and clunky at first as I try to get back into the swing of things, but I'm gonna try. So that's what I'm gonna do. And thank you for listening, and thank you to anyone who supported me in any capacity over the last 15 years. I've really, really appreciated it. But yeah, let's get started with the day and see what happens, I guess. I honestly do not know how to transition from this conversation into a vlog, but let's try.
Okay, and from that point on, she goes into a vlog of which she sits down and does other stuff like cleaning rocks that she found on the beach, and these little moments and pockets of joy. Congratulations, you've been able to move on with your life. Congratulations. Now, does any of this feel familiar to anybody? Is this something that feels like we've been here? Is this our first rodeo? It's not our first rodeo. This is exactly how James Charles came back after admitting what it is that he did. He came forward, he addressed it briefly in a video, and then continued to do a makeup tutorial. Because what he wanted to do was move on. And in order to move on, he had to continue to work as normal.
You know, I don't know who my perfect person is going to be or how I'm going to go about meeting them. I do know that I'm going to be way more careful and way more patient moving forward, but I still want to be able to talk to new people, meet new people, and have experiences just like every human being does, and find love like every human being deserves. And of course, when that happens one day, I would love, love, love to share that with you guys. But until that happens, unfortunately, no matter how careful I am, I'm most likely still gonna run into people that will always value likes or making a video over somebody's privacy and feelings. And that sucks. All I can do is just learn from that situation and figure out how to better protect myself and be more careful moving forward. And that, I promise, is exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I hope I was able to answer some questions, clear up some stuff that didn't happen, but most importantly, once again, be able to hold myself accountable for what did and explain to you guys that I understand why I put myself into this situation, why it's wrong, and how I'm working a lot on myself and making a lot of changes to make sure that this never ever happens again in the future. And I really, really hope to be able to show that to you guys if you choose to stick around for that journey. All that being said, this bake has been sitting on my face for literally 30 minutes now. I'm pretty sure the powder has melted into my skin, which is disgusting. So I'm going to wipe it away. We can get started on an eyeshadow look and hopefully have a much more fun end to this video.
Now, this for some reason is becoming textbook of how to move on from controversy on social media. Now, I'm not saying that somebody can't move on ever. Like, if you've done something bad, if you've said something bad, I'm not saying that you can't move on. But what I am saying is, if what is being alleged of you is so egregious, I don't believe that you deserve to move on until it is addressed. That is point blank, and I don't think you deserve to move on. I don't think you deserve to have a platform, and that's where YouTube come in, right? I am so incredibly sick and tired of this platform allowing people on here who have been accused of egregious crimes and not treating it with the same vim that they treat other people. For instance, right? There was a content creator on this platform called EDP445. I do believe that's what his name was. He was a controversial content creator. He used to say the R-slur a bunch, but he had a really strong and dedicated fan base. Now, not too long ago, what ended up happening was a vigilante group who, you know, I think they're called like predator poachers. They basically set up sting operations so that people can be found to be conversing with what they believe to be a minor. Now, EDP445 was found guilty of this. They managed to get EDP445 to believe that he was talking to a 14-year-old and then confronted him as he attempted to meet the 14-year-old. He was not conversing with the 14-year-old, he was conversing with an adult, as this was a sting operation.
Okay, so why 13 but not 12?
I don't know.
Okay.
And that's the truth.
Okay.
Not
but,
lying to you.
like, so if Sophie was 12, what would have been your response?
Probably would have went to the bathroom and threw up.
Okay, so what? Okay, so for me, like,
You don't have to believe me, bro. You can sit back and solve the
right. So for me.
Now, when he was found in this sting operation that was done by a vigilante group, he ended up losing his entire platform on YouTube. In fact, not just YouTube, pretty much every platform it is that EDP445 has tried to get on has got rid of him. He has been removed from TikTok. I do believe he has tried some other chat websites, like some Asian chat websites that he's been removed from as well. There are numerous different places that this man has attempted to go, and he has not been allowed on their platforms, or he has been removed from their platforms extremely fast. Now, the reason for this is because he was involved in this sting operation that everybody saw. We all saw it. We all saw the screenshots, the evidence. However, these vigilante groups who end up doing these kind of sting operations aren't certified by the police. So because of that, they cannot verify or validate anything. Yes, you can attempt to bring them to the police and have them question them, but unless the police have conducted this sting operation themselves, or this is in collaboration with the police force, they really can't do anything at all. So a lot of the people who end up being involved in these sting operations end up walking away free. In fact, one of the things that I found absolutely crazy to find out was that Chris Hansen's Catch a Predator only had like about 3 individuals who were actually convicted based on what had happened in these sting operations, because for the majority of them, they ended up walking away free people, free men, free into the universe, knowing that they had attempted to, you know, solicit engagement from a minor in a sexual way. Now, I believe that YouTube was 100% within their right to say, we do not want somebody who has the potential to utilize and leverage his platform to speak to minors and do something insidious with us being a part of that chain. We don't want nothing to do with it. So they removed him, and I wholeheartedly agree. Another situation that took place more recently is with Russell Brand. Russell Brand is a presenter over here in the UK as well as a comedian. He is pretty big, I think, in the US as well. He has a lot of notoriety. A lot of people know who he is. However, more recently, he has become a political streamer or a political video maker, and a lot of people are now following him for his, views on politics. Now, he has quite a substantial platform here on YouTube as well. However, more recently, a documentary came out by Channel 4 where they basically said that there was a plethora of women over the past several decades who have basically made allegations of SA as well as R-word as well as a bunch of different things, and just how he utilized and leveraged his celebrity in order to get minors to do things, allegedly, how he utilized and leveraged his celebrity in order to get the staff at Big Brother's Big Mouth to bring back, university students that he would point out in the audience because he wanted to F them. Now, whilst these allegations were made on a mainstream media platform on Channel 4, nothing has been done about these allegations. This man is still walking around a free man, and whether there is an investigation that is currently taking place, I don't know. But at present, Russell Brand is still a free person, and it is innocent until proven guilty. Now, I believe that YouTube is well within its rights to say this is a person who many have alleged to utilizing their platform in order to harm them in ways that is inconceivable. And because of that, we don't want to be a part of the chain. He can no longer monetize and make any money from our platform. We are not allowing him in our space like that. So, subsequently, Russell Brand made a video stating that he was going to be moving from YouTube over to another platform, which I do believe is Rumble. And he is now on Rumble on a completely different platform because YouTube no longer wants any association with Russell Brand. So basically cut him off financially and said, look, son, you're going to have to go somewhere else to make your money. And again, I believe that YouTube is 100% within their rights to do that. I believe that is a positive move in the correct direction. I do believe the allegations of these victims. That's my personal disposition. That's how I feel about it. However, we cannot deny that this is a free man, as is EDP. These are two men who are free men. Please tell me why in God's name that there can be a slew of allegations, a slew of individuals coming forward with their own independent stories of how they have been harmed by Colleen Ballinger, as well as subsequent evidence that we believe, the general consensus on social media believe to be true, that Colleen Ballinger sent nudity and to minors. We can know this, that an alleged criminal offense took place, and we don't remove that person from the platform. Why? And here's the thing, right? Colleen Ballinger is a free woman, right? There's no current investigation going on into Colleen Ballinger as far as we are aware. Why does she get a platform and Russell Brand don't? Why does she get a platform and EDP don't? Why does James Charles get a platform and these men don't? Why are we not ruling the same all across the board? There are 10 alleged accusers of James Charles, with more coming out more recently, and still to this day, this boy has a platform. He's coming out with stories wrote by terrible journalists telling people, uncancel me, please. Why is this allowed to be happening? YouTube have policies in place in order to protect minors at all costs. Right now, I currently have a community guideline strike on my channel from 2017 for a video it is that I made about father of 5, daddy of 5, I've forgotten what the name is. We all know the story, the family of individuals who were kind of not very great to their kids, essentially child abuse. I discussed it. I discussed how disgusting it was, how horrible these parents are, how they don't deserve to have a platform, and basically went with the general consensus of social media that this is so wrong and so traumatizing to children and should not exist. But because I showed clips of said abuse that they posted to their YouTube channel, that was on their YouTube channel for several years, because I posted clips in order to show exactly what it was that I was discussing, with their faces blurred to protect the identity of the children as best as I could on my platform, but showing how disgusting and how incredibly awful the entire situation was. I have a community guideline strike on my channel that will remain there forever. And I agree with YouTube. I get it. You don't want it out there. You don't want the world to see what it is. I get it. I get it. I'm okay with your judgment on that. I'm not going to appeal this judgment it is that you have made. So if we are in the business of protecting children at all costs, which I stand by, why the hell are we not doing it when it takes place in the more feminine spaces? Why do abusers and groomers have to be cis-het men? Groomers and abusers look like anybody. They look like you, they look like me, they look like anybody. There is no look to being an abuser. There is no look to being a groomer. And whilst I will say that it is significant to some degree that I do believe that Colleen Ballinger's quote-unquote alleged grooming of the situation when it came to herself and her encounters with minors was not based on sexual attraction and wanting any kind of sexual gratification from that. What I will say is it was still severely inappropriate and still was in a way to harness and leverage power. But yet again, in 2023, I am sitting here telling you that there is another content creator with a substantial platform who has been allowed to remain despite the numerous allegations against them. And that's because they're utilizing something that I would like to call strategic media overexposure. Now, usually when we speak in a media sense, overexposure tends to be something that people dislike. You know, like when you go onto TikTok and you see like a particular brand being shoved down your throat to the point that you actually just really dislike the brand. Well, in regards to strategic media overexposure, what takes place is that a person continues to create content, continues to be in the world's face in order to avoid responsibility. It is kind of like redirecting the narrative. Media overexposure gives you the opportunity to reframe the narrative, which is crucial when facing or avoiding controversy. By strategically posting and sharing positive stories, accomplishments, or just a simple full vlog or makeup tutorial, the focus can then be redirected from the controversy onto something else. This method involves actively reshaping the public discourse in order to highlight more redeeming or positive attributes of the individual.
She can't be what she's saying she is. I mean, look at the comments. Everybody is saying such great things about her.
This is all textbook PR. And please, I am pleading to you as an audience, do not, under any circumstances, be swayed in this. She wants you to humanize her and see her as an individual with flaws. And that might resonate with you because you are too an individual with flaws. And you see her as a person who deserves grace in the same way that you do. But I want you to ask yourself one fundamental question. Have you ever sent nudity or to children? Is that a redeemable trait or quality it is that you want to see from your content creators? Then if it's not, do not allow this to die. I have spent the past how many years with that sign up there. Anyone who knows what that sign is, leave it in the comment section. That sign says, don't forget about what James Charles did. Because I decided that I was not going to forget what it was that took place. Because the internet moves so incredibly fast and people like to forget what took place. And that it's only until there's another instance, another number, another allegation that people actually put focus and highlight on the issue. Some of these minors' first interactions with pornography was allegedly through Colleen Ballinger. Do you know what groomers like to do? They like to expose minors to adult content in order to make them feel comfortable with the discussion. I think about how Ethan was allegedly sent videos, images, pictures of James Charles in the nude, and how even though all of this took place when he was allegedly 14, he now has to sit back and watch this man go from strength to strength, achieving everything it is that he wants in his life. No repercussions. Everybody's still his friend. And I think about how that must feel. See, my abusers, they're in the pits of hell. Lives destroyed, one behind bars. I take great joy and great pride in knowing that they'll never have what I have. But I don't know how I'd feel if they were doing really great, that things just worked out. And do you know what's the thing that's like really awful about trauma? You don't cry for the now, you cry for the babies these babies were stolen from. So I would say the next form of protocol would be to stop watching Colleen Ballinger, not engage with her content, but she'll continue to grow. The millennials and the generation who literally watch James Charles conduct all of that shit, we don't watch him anymore. I think the majority of us don't. But the newer generation, the younger generation, the ones who weren't around from 2015 onwards to watch his growth and his subsequent change into chasing straight men and contacting minors and using his For You page as a dating website, even though he said he wouldn't, they aren't aware of the past. And that's what happens, is that they are able to rejuvenate and regenerate a new audience. I'm watching it happen again for the second time. So honestly, I don't even know what to say or how to end this video, because I literally have nothing else to add. It's just a sad situation. I know Colleen never said it, but Oliver, Becky, Adam, and the numerous other individuals, I'm so sorry, and you deserve better. So anyway, with that being said, engage with this video, leave a like, leave a comment, all that ridiculous stuff. I'm actually feeling like shit, so I'm gonna go. Right, peace.